Hey everyone, Carolina Venom here. Today I'm taking a look at the LG Optimus Zone 2. This is a phone on Verizon Wireless on their prepaid service. This is a new phone. This is a upgrade to the original Optimus Zone. And I'm going to tell you about the phone, give you some of the specs, do some tests, and tell you what I think about it so far, and we'll go from there. This phone runs Android 4.4.2 KitKat. It does have a 3.5-inch display with 480 by 320 pixels at 165 ppi. It does have a 3 megapixel camera, no autofocus or flash, and video recording is limited to WVGA 800 by 480. It does have a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 200 processor with 512 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of built-in storage, and will hold up to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. It does have a 1700 milliamp hour battery with around 10 hours of talk time and an estimated 15 days of standby time. This phone is lacking in quite a few things. Like I said, it has no flash, no autofocus, no dedicated camera key, no front-facing camera, which is always a minus in my opinion. I like a front-facing camera. Low resolution, low pixel density screen, but the screen does look pretty good. I gotta say, I guess because it's a 3.5-inch display and it's not really a big display, so it looks pretty decent even with a low pixel density. So I mean, all in all, it's not a bad phone, and surprisingly, for only 512 megabytes of RAM, it is a pretty speedy phone. Now, it's not loaded down with apps. I do have just a couple of apps downloaded on it, so nothing. It's a new phone, and I've not got it bogged down with apps. But I have been using it a little bit, and everything. So it's not activated. Of course, you got to activate it to be able to actually use the phone. But as far as being able to use it, it's not able to use. But I'm gonna go ahead and take you around the phone. Like I said, 3.5-inch display. Your ear speaker up here, of course your Verizon brand in here, LG brand. Down here you have your back menu, and here is your home button. When you are charging this phone, this here glows up red, and when it's finished it glows back green. And when the phone rings or you get notifications, this light in here does kind of pulsate a little bit, which is neat. Down here is your micro USB charging port, your microphone. Down here on this side you have your volume rocker. It's kind of flush in with a phone, but it's still not really hard to find. On the back, like I said, you got your speaker and your camera and some more Verizon branding and your LG branding. Under here is a battery, and it can be removable. And over in here somewhere is your micro SD card slot, and you do not have to remove the battery to get to it, which is a good thing. Over here is your power button. Nothing down here. On top is your 3.5mm headset jack. Let's go ahead and power the phone on. Vibration on this phone is very weak. It's weak. I can barely feel it vibrate when I power the phone on. This phone is very little, by the way. You can't really tell it by looking like this here, but this phone is very small. But to me, honestly, I like this phone. I like the way it feels in the hand. One bad thing about this phone is that it's very slick, and it will fall out of your hands very easily. But it is quick. I mean, just one flick. And I mean, as you see, it does seem to run pretty smooth. Not really much lag. It's not really fast scrolling, but really there's no lag in it. Got your apps here, and scrolling does seem to work really well. Going to your settings here, you have a variety of things. You have your Wi-Fi and everything. Sound display. I'm sorry, it looks kind of bad, but it's just the way my camera looks right now. Guest mode, and basically everything. Just ordinary everyday thing you see in phones. Nothing really different. Nothing really changed. But for the most part, this is a pretty nice phone, and I'm gonna go ahead right now and run a benchmark test on this phone to see what we can get as far as test goes. While we are waiting for it to finish, we're gonna compare it to the ZTE Warp 4G, and as you can tell, this phone is a whole lot bigger than this phone here. I mean, this phone here can pretty much sit inside the ZTE screen, pretty much. But this is, like I said, for somebody with small hands or wants a small phone, I really gotta, kind of recommend the LG Optimus Zone 2. It's very smooth, and it does seem to have excellent call quality, very good reception, and it's just an all-around good phone. The only thing about it I don't like is the LG name brand. I'm not really crazy about LG. Never really have been crazy about LG, but this phone right here is made pretty good. Like I said, they could have made it a little bit more rubbery on the back to be able to hold on to it better, because it is very, very slick, and if you're not careful, you will drop it. So let's go ahead and see what our test ran. And this one is coming in at 5,270, and that's not bad for a 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon 200 processor. My ZTE Warp 4G is actually running a 400 plus Pro Plus processor, and it runs about 1,000 less than this. So and it's got a 1 gigabyte of RAM, and this one here has been as high as 5,500. So that's not bad for what it is. It does seem to run pretty good. And like I said, the back is very slick. You hold it in your hand, and if you barely even tilt your hand at all, it's going to slide it out of your hand. It's just very slick. I mean, very easy to drop. But all in all, this is an excellent phone. And the camera is really bad though. The camera is pretty shoddy. Even in bright outside, video quality is bad. The audio quality is good, but the video quality is bad. The camera quality is bad. It's nothing at all to brag on. But I like the way that the screen just about goes to the edge of the phones on each side, instead of having a great big body phone with a little screen in the middle. I like the way that it's made, as far as that they didn't leave much room on each side, from the screen to the edge of the phone. So that's also another plus. As far as texting goes, keyboard is kind of cramped. If you got fat fingers like me, my thumbs are kind of I can, and texting can be a little bit of a challenge, especially coming from this phone here to this little phone right here. So I mean, texting is a challenge, but if you got small hands, reaching across the phone is no big deal. 3.5-inch display, if you're an iPhone 4S user, 3.5 is no big deal to you unless you want something a lot bigger. But personally, I would use it. 3.5 to 4.5 is about really my perfect size of a phone. And honestly, this phone right here is very easy to, just to put in your pocket and kind of forget about. And it's not really heavy, and it feels pretty sturdy. And I think it'll be a phone that will last a while. It does have its cons. Like I said, no front-facing camera. Camera is shoddy, and everything. Call quality does seem to be pretty good. Speakerphone is, it's decent. But, all in all, I do highly recommend this phone for somebody who wants a phone for a really good price. $50, Verizon Prepaid, $45 a month. For unlimited talk and text and 500 megabytes of high-speed data. And of course you can buy extra data as you need it. The only problem with Verizon Prepaid is they are limited to only 3G service. For some reason, they have not allowed 4G LTE to be on their Verizon Prepaid, but hopefully soon that will change because everybody else is running 4G LTE on their prepaid plan. So hopefully Verizon will change that stupid rule soon, and we'll be able to use 4G LTE because it's a good network. And honestly, I have Boost Mobile right now, but in a few months I may end up changing. I don't know yet, but this phone right here is really nice. I highly recommend it. I'm sorry the review was so long, but if you got any more questions at all about this phone, please feel free to ask me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. This is a very nice phone, the LG Optimus Zone 2. An upgrade from the original Optimus Zone, and I would say it's a very hefty update from the original Zone. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good one, and we'll talk at you later.